Hey guys, just trying to check something here for a second. Hold on. Hey guys, just checking something there. Yeah, as you can see by the title, I'm here to give you a bit of a overview of MrInternetman's latest Mystic Makeover webcomic that he did. He just brought this out yesterday, and this to me is a step in the this is another huge step for him, because this is a step that I think a lot of fans have been wanting him to do for quite some time. Now, in case you guys don't know about the Mystic Makeover series, I'll provide links to 2 videos I've done on it already. But the Mystic Makeover series basically is a webcomic series that he's been doing for the past several years. It centers around a young girl named Veronica who comes in possession of a lipstick called Nightshade, that when she applies it, it turns her into an alter ego called Demonica, which is a mischiefy demon elf. Now, what she's able to do as Demonica is she's able to shapeshift herself into anyone, anything that she can think of, whether it's someone completely different, whether it's a fictional character or animal, whether it's turning herself into melting herself down into a puddle of goo, and I think she said in one comic, feeling good about it and wishing she could remain that way forever, being formless and free, or something like that. And she's able to turn herself into inanimate objects and vehicles, all that jazz. She's even able to split herself in two and create other Demonicas that she's able to also change. They also have the abilities that she does, and that's able to turn into whatever they want to be, or whoever they want to be as well. Now, most of the stories have taken place in Veronica's home, her apartment, depending on where the apartment is. But there have been times that he's taken her outside her comfort zone. He's had her go to a comic book convention with her friends, with her 2 male friends, I think from college, where just to have a little fun with them, and I guess to repay them for taking her with them, she decides to go into a closed-off bathroom, apply the lipstick, become Demonica, split herself in 2, and then her and her clone shapeshift into both Catwoman and Black Cat, who ironically the 2 friends were debating over who was better. She's also Internet Man has also had a crossover with other characters, like primarily he's had a crossover with another DeviantArt's character called Lilith, who has similar shape-shifting abilities, not as extreme as Demonica's, but similar, even to the point that there's one comic where she shapeshifts into Demonica and Demonica shapeshifts into Lilith. Go figure. There's even one story where Demonica supposedly calls off a date with Lilith, but in actuality is using that as a distraction to basically transform herself into an exact copy of Lilith's primary outfit, in which she does. And when Lilith applies said outfit on herself, thinking it's her actual outfit, not knowing it's Demonica, the influence of Demonica starts to come over her, and it's through this influence and the fact that she's wearing Demonica, if you will, that they kind of start to sort of fuse together, unbeknownst to Lilith, because according to what I understand, she doesn't know that it's Demonica that's causing this. And what happens is you get sort of a hybrid of Lilith in sort of a Demonica-like outfit, tails and wings and purple hair and purple eyes included. But then recently, over the past year, he's also introduced another character that has basically the same powers, those same that was given the same abilities as Veronica was, and that character's name is Rebecca, who's a blonde-haired girl. And when she applies her lipstick, she becomes a blue-haired elf, demon elf called Exotica. Same abilities and everything, and it's basically indicated throughout that both know of each other's abilities. Both know that each other can become these alter egos and be able to do things that are normally not possible. So what happens is he has them go. So far, as of yesterday, he's had 3 stories centered around them. First one was called Date Night, where we get introduced to Rebecca and what she's able to do. And the next one is Friends with Benefits, and this is where a lot of fans were hoping something would happen if you were going to have 2 of the same kind of characters together, and that was a fusion. And this fusion ended up happening towards the climax or towards the end of that story. But the difference with the fusion here was both were in control. Both knew about each other's existence. Both were in control of the body, in a sense. Both knew about each other being there. Both could speak from the mouth of this now fused character or fused woman that they had become. Now he did another one after that where we get a little bit more character development with Veronica, Demonica actually, and we found out, and through this character development we find out that Demonica can only remain in this form in her, that basically Veronica, when she becomes Demonica, that Demonica can only remain as she is for at least 12 hours because she has to sort of slowly depend on the life force of Veronica to help her out. But what Internet Man does here is he decides, I'm going to switch that up, and instead has her basically become, has Demonica split into these 3 different clones who become 3 different women who go and seduce a couple of guys, and they basically, by kissing them, drain a little bit of the life force out of them, just enough so that she can remain as she is for at least the weekend, not for 12 hours, but at least the weekend. And basically what Internet Man described the life force sucking as being equivalent to having a hangover the next day from drinking too much the previous night. Anyway, basically in that story she's able to test her abilities to the max by making multiple clones of herself, not just multiple Demonica clones, but she's able to make multiple other different women clones, different races and ethics and all that, and just have a good old time at the end of that story. But then we get to the 3rd story involving Demonica, Veronica, and Exotica, Rebecca, if you will. And this is where the next fusion comes in, and this, to me, is where I think Internet Man really has shown that there's so much room for character development and growth and major story potential. Because in this one, right off the bat, both Demonica and Veronica not Veronica, but both Demonica, Veronica, and Exotica, Rebecca, end up fusing together right off the bat, and the end result is a new character fused together. But the difference is, when we find out right off the bat after the fusion is complete, that this character is a completely different person. Basically, according to what Internet Man said in the description, I think in several of the parts, I think mostly in part 10, is he wanted to create something that when create a character through Demonica and Veronica's fusion that had its own separate personality, but in a sense was aware of where she came from or how she came to be, but was different in personality, and was completely different in personality, but also had the powers and abilities that Veronica and Demonica possessed. And thus the character of Angela was born. And what he said in a comment, in a reply to another fan's comment, was the big difference between Angela and Demonica and Exotica is not just personality but attitude. He even mentions this in one of the descriptions, saying different tone and attitude or something. And basically what it is, basically what he mentions in the reply to the comment is the big difference between the characters is Demonica and Veronica, even though the mischiefy demon elves are very kind-hearted, sweet, and caring. Well, Angela is self-centered, selfish, and narcissistic. In other words, she's a bad girl, in a sense. She's basically the opposite, in a sense. I don't know, complete opposite, but she is just sort of like the anti-version of what Angela and, not Angela, but of what Demonica, Veronica, and Exotica Rebecca are. She's the complete opposite. She, instead of being kind, sweet, kind-hearted, and a sweetheart, she's self-centered, selfish, and narcissistic, only caring about herself kind of deal. And when I saw this, to be quite honest, I was like, yes, this is exactly what needs to be. This is exactly the best, if not the right direction, if not the best direction he can go in with this series, because now you create conflict. You create conflict for, in a sense, if you want to go that route, you create conflict not just with Demonica, not just for Demonica and Exotica, but with the human alter egos of Veronica and Rebecca. You create conflict because then, they're going to want to, because then they may not want to fuse as much anymore, because the end result would be something or someone that they aren't. And the story potential is there to further explore. I mean, think about it. You could have a future webcomic where you start off with both women in bed, either together or not together, whatever, or individually in their own beds or in their own homes. You could start it out by having them have these visions, these dreamlike visions, where Veronica encounters Angela, where Rebecca encounters Angela, or even have them standing side by side, the demon elf alter egos in these visions, Exotica and Demonica, and have Veronica, Demonica, and Rebecca, Exotica encountering Angela, and basically being like, you weren't supposed to be what the fusion was going to be. We were going to fuse and create someone new, give them their own individual personality and freedom, but you're not exactly what we thought. And you can create the conflict there by having Angela, through these visionist dreams, say, I'm what you want to be. I'm that bad girl you've always wanted to be. And when you guys came together, that's exactly what happened. Your desire to be bad, badder than bad, be exactly what no one thought you could be that side, bring out that side of you that you've always kept hidden. That's what happened. And again, the conflict creates itself in a sense, because you could have all four characters, Veronica, Demonica, and Rebecca and Exotica, be like, no, that's not it. I mean, we know that's not who we are. That's not who we ever will be. And you can even have the demon elf characters in the dreams go like, yeah, it's like, yeah, we might be mischiefy and pull pranks and tricks and all that, but because we're connected to them and the influence they've had on us, we are never going to be like what you are, and so on. I mean, that to me, that's the kind of conflict that a story like this could really be built upon. I mean, heck, she says right off the bat, and I think you've seen it in some of these pictures have gone by here. She basically said herself, she didn't say hope or anything. She basically says Demonica and Exotica better not make plans because Angela is going to be here for a while. In other words, she didn't say, oh, I hope they didn't make any plans. She basically straight out says, you know what, Demonica and Veronica, if they make plans, forget them. I'm not doing whatever they want. I'm doing what I want. So, again, the potential for story arc is there. And if Internet Man decides to explore this any further, hey, more power to him. If this is just something he wants to do once in a while, again, more power to him. But to me, this is the best direction he can go in. Now, he does mention that he did get influenced by a couple of other DeviantArters out there, other DeviantArt writers and artists, and what they've done. One has a series, one is called Xena Liquid. That's one of the DeviantArters. And the inspiration he got from Xena Liquid was from their Lustful Metal series or something, or Lustful Liquid Metal series. I'll provide the links down below. He got it from there. There's another person, another DeviantArt individual, to where he got the whole fuse into a whole new kind of completely different person kind of idea from. So, yeah, he's obviously taking inspiration from others, and obviously probably hearing what other people have had to say, giving him advice. Maybe he's heard what I've had to say, heard what Grape Athenia has had to say, many others. So perhaps, we may get something more in the future. But to me, this is probably the best direction he can go in when it comes to these characters, and it comes to this overall series. Because here's the thing. A lot of people may complain and be unsure about the current season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Not too sure about the direction it's going in, being 60-40. But a lot of the 60% that's okay with what's going on appreciate the change, appreciate the expansion in the series, and the world building and all that, and the character developing and the character building. And to me, that's exactly what Mystic Makeover has been needing. Something like this to help build upon the characters, help the characters to develop and grow. And by going in this direction, this is kind of going in this direction, this basically gives me an idea that he may, if he chooses to, decide to explore this option more, and may explore the idea of doing webcomics down the line, to where they'll be a little unsure about whether or not they should fuse again because of who they could create. So, but overall, the new 2-in-1 Mystic Makeover comic is good. Again, it's a step in the right direction when it comes to character developing, growth, and expanding on the world and the characters themselves. And hopefully we'll see more of that in the future. So I'll provide a several links if I can, in the description below, so you guys can check out the rest of what he's done, and as far as Mystic Makeover goes, and the influences he's had for this newest one. And that's all really I'm going to say. So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'll talk to y'all later.